What's up, guys? Jaydaniel here with my co-host Victor Marshall, and this is the Sales at Home podcast.
What's up?
We got to get like intro music so it sounds cool after I say it. All right, guys. So, Victor, what are we going to talk about today?
So I've been thinking about this whole idea lately of force the decision and not the sale. And the sense of like, it's something I've been helping my team with. It's I don't care if you say no. In fact, I want you to say no. I want you to disqualify yourself. I want you to self-select yourself out of my process. So that way I can focus my time and energy on people who are not worthy, but are actually going to put in the effort and put in the energy needed to be successful. Because as you know, not everybody's going to put in the effort and be successful, which is why you can have a hugely successful program with a 10% success rate. And like, that's not something that I want for any business that I'm involved in. So I would rather my team force them to say no rather than force the sale. You know what I mean?
100%. And why is that? Why is that important for your team to do that versus the opposite?
Because I think that it goes into like manipulation and persuasion, right? It's like I can persuade you or influence you to make a buying decision that might not be the best thing for you. But if I can push you to the point where you say, no, this isn't for me, you've made a step in growth, because you know for a fact that this is not something that I can do right now. This is not for me right now. So whether or not you're more likely to act on that than you are to be like, oh, let me come into a program and pay all this money and do nothing and still be in the same mindset that I am right now. But if I tell you no, that's a strong statement of saying, no, I'm not ready for this. No, this isn't for me. And that takes more guts than sliding into something and paying money for something that doesn't fit you.
So basically, don't let the prospect be a pussy and say they have to think about
it. Well, really, like if you have social proof, right, that what you're doing works, if you've got a great program, if you've got, fulfillment, there's no reason that somebody needs to think about it. Either you didn't do your job on the call, or you need to get them to make a decision, one way or the other. And that decision, yes or no, is the answer. It's not, here's my credit card. It's no or yes. And if they say yes, then obviously they're coming into the program and they're growing and they're learning and they're more likely to succeed, because that's the decision they made. That was the turning point in their business, the turning point in their life, where they said, I'm making this decision, and from here on out, this is what I'm going to do. Or they say no, and they're like, I'm not doing this, and this is not something I'm going to do. Either way, the line has been drawn and they crossed it.
100%. And I think, no, that's a really good distinction too, because like, it's true. Like, if they can't make a fucking decision, you know what I mean? Like, if they can't make a decision on the call, like they're not going to be a good business owner anyway, usually, right? Like, it's, and usually there's something behind that. Like, if they don't want to make a decision, it's because there's something on their mind specifically. They say, no, I just need to go over it. No, there's something on their mind that they're running on repeat over and over again. They're just not verbalizing it. Mm-hmm. So like, our job as like, the sales rep, as the coach, as the business owners, to get them to like admit to that thing and then to fucking overcome it, because they're not going to overcome it. Like, dude, yeah. Have you ever like given somebody the benefit of the doubt and let them go away, and then they'll just make up all kinds of weird ass excuses not to like move forward? Yeah. Like there was a concern that was unresolved in their head, and they're not going to resolve it because that concern was probably there before they even got on the call.
Right.
So you got to resolve that shit on the call.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have the money. Do you really think if they don't have the money now and they go to their house and they sit in their living room with the couch that's on their fucking credit card because they can't afford to buy it cash, but they financed it because they're dumbass, right? Like, do you really think this person is going to say, I don't have the money, so let me look and find, I couldn't make a decision on the call. I don't have the money right now. It's a big risk if I do it. Now that I'm out of the emotions of the call and I'm back to my day-to-day life, let me actually figure out a creative way to finance something that's a risk that I was too scared to take action on initially, and I haven't taken action on, even though I've known I wanted to get the goal for the last 5 years. Nah, they're gone. 80% of the time, if you don't get them on the first call, they're fucking gone. And you failed as a rep. because like, I think it's different if it's logistical versus if it's like really, you know what I mean? I
Facts.
think it's very
Yeah.
different when it's like something logistical, like, hey, I need to move money from this account to this account. And
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, cool, put some money down, or let's put some kind of commitment down. I think that's really different from just like, I'm fearful, I'm scared, I have some shit in the back of my head that I haven't mentioned yet. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I've like really noticed. Like, oh, over hundreds of calls, like probably thousands. Like that's the pattern that
Yeah.
I've kind of picked up on. You just gotta keep probing. You gotta keep asking questions. What do you mean by that? How? What's holding you back? Like
Mhm.
like sometimes, like, okay, cool. Usually when somebody's this reluctant, there's something going on in your head that you're
Mhm.
repeating back and forth. And I like
What
to
is that?
assume it. And
Yeah.
I like to assume it. I'm like, you're fucking scared. And so, there's that whole saying of like, people fight like hell to, it's like, stay in their comfort zone or stay where they're at. Um, you know, so like, you just got to help them overcome that. And I
Yeah.
think, I don't know. I think there's different ways to do it. I think like you can do like analogies or stories or something relevant to them. But you almost gotta get them to have like a little mini light bulb moment. That and then when you can tell it landed, that's when you just go in for the kill, right? So like, cool. How do you want to proceed? What needs to
Mhm.
be done? What's the next step? What do you want to do? Right? Almost like a not a fake, but almost like an artificial sense of control, where it's like, you can do what you want. We just remove the roadblock.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. I'm just ranting. End of the day for
Yeah,
me.
I completely agree. And like you said, people will fight to stay in their comfort zone. People will get uncomfortable just to stay in their comfort space. And it's
Yep.
like it's our job and our responsibility to make sure that we figure that out and call it out and make sure that they know that we're calling it out and make them call it out as well. Like if you tell me, oh yeah, well, I'm just not sure that I trust that you can fulfill. Yeah, you do, or else you wouldn't have been on the call. You trust that in some way, shape, or form, you trust that what I'm offering can help you. What the problem is, you're scared to do it. You're scared to put the effort in that makes it possible for you to be successful.
Oh,
Because
bro.
you're either scared of
Bro.
your success or you're
Yep.
scared of failure. And a lot of times that success is like, okay, once I have success, a lot more things come into that. And I'm scared of,
Yep.
I don't know what to do with that. So that makes me scared of the future. I'm anxious about what's going to happen once I get to where I want to be.
Dude, you know how you can tie them down to where like everything they say is absolute garbage? It's either yes or no. You
Hmm.
just ask. Like, and I find like the more skeptical your tonality, the better. But if you're like almost like skeptical, like, you're like, do you feel like this could, I guess, solve your problem, or be the answer for you? And they're like, well, yeah, why though? Like, as soon as they say why and it's a semi decent answer, everything they could possibly say is bullshit. It's just a problem to overcome,
Hmm.
right? I don't have the money. Okay. How do you find the money? And then you just use one of the fucking millions of quivers that you got earlier in the call. How do you
Hmm.
find the money so you don't have to struggle to pay your bills? How do you find the money so you
Yeah.
can be like, whatever, like we talked about a second ago, right? But if there's like a specific person that's relevant to some people, you can tell like, human needs, all that shit, right? Like you can tell like what they value. And if they value people, if they value approval, like from other people, things like that, you can bring in that person and use that. Like, and you can just you can be their partner in overcoming all of their objections because they just
Hmm.
said this could solve their problem.
Hmm.
Like, dude, you know how much damage this problem is doing for you.
Yeah.
How do you overcome the money? How you know what I mean? When I was at an event, bro. I was at an event, and it was actually in Orlando, so it wasn't that far from me. But I was at this event. It was an in-person event. We had a $34,000 fucking like coaching program. If you pay in full, 28K, whatever, right? But we had a $34,000 coaching program. People were there for 2 days, right? And dude, so I had four people, come in that I spoke to. Not a bad 2 days,
Hmm.
as far as commission, but like, how many people? I think three of the four people that closed that I spoke to, and probably like 10 or 11 that the whole team spoke to in those 2 days, their partner wasn't there. Their partner was actually like responsible. It's not like, yeah, I want to run it by them. No, it's like it's their fucking money, or they're the ones who are in charge of it, right?
Hmm.
They called their partner, stay on the phone for like 20, 30 minutes. Their got them to say yes to the partner. paid in full on the spot, at least put down like 10K or something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's just something to overcome. Like
Yeah.
it's so as soon as you tie them down to that, bro, like everything, they can't say anything. They've as soon as they say this could solve my problem and this is why, everything they're saying is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's literally not even them anymore. It's just fear. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
You ever notice that shit? As soon as a
Yeah.
decision comes up, everything changes. They just become a different person.
Yeah. And it's because they vocalized it.
Uh-huh.
And like, yes, this will solve my problems. And this is why it will solve my problems. And a lot of times all you gotta do is sit back and listen. You ask that
Yep.
one question, they'll spill it all out for you. They'll be like, this is going to solve my problems because my kid who's running around right there needs to be in a better school because we're in a bad neighborhood, or because I'm
Yep.
trying to make sure that blah, 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 yada, yada. And it's like, okay, cool. Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
Yeah, just load it up. Just load it up.
Just load it up.
Because that's it, right? Like, bro, I feel like in sales, like we're really just reminding people they already like we're just asking good questions and listening, and then we're just reminding them what they said. You know, once you take enough calls, you know objections you're gonna get. You can just ask questions where the answer makes the objection stupid, and then when they say the stupid objection, because they're going to, because they get like fight or flight. Okay, cool. Like,
But didn't you just say?
Didn't you just say? You're right.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to say that. Like, didn't you just say? You can just say, so like, okay, cool. How do we overcome that?
Yeah.
So that whatever you just said, you know, consequence, impact, whatever, right? Like it doesn't get worse, or like you don't stay stuck. I don't know. It's bro.
Do you think that fear of the unknown is the biggest thing that causes people to not buy into something that could help them?
Oh, of course. Hell yeah. Yeah, pretty much, bro. Because think about it. Every single objection comes back to like, what if I spend the money and I don't get a return? That's really what every objection comes down to, right? Like because even money, right? Like if they don't have the money, like, dude, you can sell your fucking car, right? Like if you could, you know, if there's no risk of you losing the money and you know you're gonna get it back, you just sell your car. Because if you can spend $1, if you can sell your car for 10,000, right, and then make 50, trade your Honda in for a Mercedes, you're gonna fucking do it if it was guaranteed, right? So as long as they say this could solve my problem and they give you a very clear and concise answer to why, like what other reason could it possibly be than a resistance to change and a fear of risk? You know? There isn't.
I also think it could be a lack of belief in yourself.
Right, but what's a lack of belief in yourself? Think about it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not gonna show up. I'm gonna spend the money. I'm not gonna get the return.
Yeah, and it's so funny because it's like the same person who's like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm motivated. I really want to change my life."
Oh, dude,
it's the same person that's gonna come into the program and do absolutely nothing with what you told them. You know what I mean? And it's like, how motivated were you to change your life? Like, I literally sat on a call today and was like, "All right, you're looking for motivation, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm looking for the motivation to like get up and do something." I was like, "You don't need motivation, dude. You need momentum." I'm like, and that starts with one action today, another action tomorrow, and another action the next day. You get those actions piled up, that momentum starts rolling, and suddenly you don't need motivation anymore. You've got the momentum going, that snowball's rolling. And he's like, "Yeah, you're right. Like, I just need to start doing something." Bro, of course. Of course you do.
Get them rice and beans, bro. Make sure the brand is Goya so they can get off. Ever heard that? John Assaraf always says that. He's like, "Goya, get off your ass." And I'm like, yep. Yeah. That's my favorite brand of canned beans. So beans.
Goya.
Yeah, bro. No, that's actually a really good point. Most of the time, the motivation shit, like 2 or 3 days into like doing productive shit and not doing like really bad stuff that'll kill like 2 or 3 days of momentum, and you don't need you don't need motivation.
Motivation's for after you've got momentum, and it's a feeling. It's the feels, right? It's just like I'm on my way, I'm on this road, things are going. Like motivation is the feels once things are moving. But like you don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it to start. If you're looking for motivation to start doing something, you're never gonna do it.
It's a crutch. Like if you rely on in my opinion, bro, if you rely on anything external to get you moving, like if you rely on anything external, then to that same degree, like you're kind of vulnerable, right? Like you should just be able to say, "I'm gonna do it," and you just fucking do it. You know? Because it's not it's not that difficult, even getting out of bed. Like if you really just say, okay, I'm gonna get up, like you get up, cool. Like that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, dude, I
If
used
you're
to,
struggling to go to the gym and you're like, oh, it's because my boy didn't call me. And like every time he calls me, I go to the gym. But then the one day he doesn't call you, you don't go. Like, did you really, were you
right,
even going to the gym anyway? You were just going to be social. You were going for him. You weren't going for yourself. It didn't mean anything to you. And it's
exactly,
like, you need success to mean something to you in order to be successful. You
exactly,
need the journey to mean something to you. You need the destination to mean something to you. You need to have that, or else you're not going to achieve anything.
exactly. There's a trick to that, by the way. There's a trick to that shit. So I work out. I work out with my boys too. We're probably gonna have them on the podcast in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
For all you guys listening, guy, girl, two people. But no, really, like so. Yeah, like legit, right? It's so much easier. Other people are going. You're gonna meet them up there. It's gonna be a good time. Blah blah blah, right? And but when it's me, like, dude, if you just literally imagine like something that you like about the workout for a second, you're gonna feel like doing it. It works like magic. Like I'll just imagine myself like deadlifting a new PR or like benching or just imagining the one part of the workout that doesn't feel like shit that you're just like, yeah, right. And all of a sudden you feel like doing it.
Yeah.
So like that, those are little tricks that can help, and that's in your mind, so you have control over it. But really, like even that, right? Like you just got to do it.
Yeah. Back when I was running a lot, I would like if I got into a slump, I would go buy a new pair of running shoes.
Really?
And I'd be like, man, I can't wait to run in these shoes. So I'd get up and run in them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it's just like that little trick. And I
Oh,
mean,
that's
it got
hilarious.
expensive after a while.
That's an expensive habit. Were
But
you
I
doing
mean,
high ticket sales back then, or were you taking out payday loans?
I mean, I was getting them on Amazon, but I
Sir,
mean,
I would like an advance. I have to buy shoes
I'd
because
like
I'm
in
a.
advance to buy these pair of books.
Oh my gosh.
But
They're only
yeah, like
$149. It's a
yeah,
pair of running shoes. It's
only
essential.
149. But yeah, those little tricks are good. And like if you're one of those people who hit the snooze button like 6 or 7 times in the morning before you get out of bed, like you're those types of people are really the type of people that find it hard to be successful and to be like to get that push and to get that drive
Yep.
because you're like delaying and delaying and delaying and delaying, and that carries over into your day. It's like, oh man, I don't want to get up and hit the snooze button. I don't want to like motivate myself, or I don't want to like read any books today. I don't want to like, learn anything. I'm just gonna delay that. I really don't want to go to work. I'm late to work. I really don't
Dude,
want. Yeah,
yeah, dude, if you can't lead yourself,
exactly.
good luck.
Yeah,
Nobody's gonna listen to you.
yeah.
Think about it. Think about it. Just for a second. For you, not I was gonna say all you listening. For you,
Listen, we have
listening.
thousands of listeners.
Speak that shit into existence. No, I don't give a fuck if it's one person or like a million people. Like
Yeah,
it's
for
true.
sure.
Like it's true. Like um I'll just let you continue.
There's a biblical verse that says, "He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls."
Exactly.
Right. So it's like
That's a good way to
if
put
you
it.
can't lead yourself, you're leaving yourself vulnerable to everything and anything. Right. So
If
when
you won't even listen to you, why the fuck should
exactly,
I?
exactly. And it's like, so
Yeah.
how do you expect to get on a sales call and lead someone to water when you're thirsty? You know what I mean? Like you're
Yep.
thirsty and you're trying to get somebody
Getting
else to
deep.
drink water. Nah.
Getting deep. Yeah, bro. No, it's true. And that's like to a degree, that's all sales is, right? Because I think like the beauty with sales is like if you can lead yourself, leading somebody else isn't that hard because you just talk to them the same way you talk to yourself,
Mhm.
right? Maybe not like as extreme, but most people are in terms of like the pre-built equipment, we're basically the same, right? We
Yeah.
all feel to varying degrees, we all feel anger, happiness, fear. So we're able to literally like put ourselves in their shoes for a second, right? We're able to see ourselves like living life from their perspective. And I think that's a powerful exercise to do because then you can truly say, hey, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I know how you feel. Even more powerful. I've been there.
Hmm.
This is what's awaiting for you on this side. This is what's awaiting for you on this side.
Yeah. I
it's up
came,
to
I
you to
saw,
make
I
the
conquered.
decision. Yeah, it's up to you to make the decision. I can't do that for you, but I've been there.
Hmm.
You don't want to walk this path where you have to look your loved ones in the eyes and feel like a piece of shit.
Hmm.
Because you've already said that. Because it's true, right? Like, because if you look at somebody's past, bro, and this is not even just sales, like in life, right? Like, you, the best way to indicate future results is to look at past results. Like the people that, yeah, I'm gonna take action, I'm gonna crush it. Okay, when did you first start this business, and what kind of
Yeah.
actions have you been taking up until now? I've been busy with work, but I've been wanting to do it for 10 years. Okay, so if you've been wanting to do it for 10 years, what have you done over the last 10 years? 3,000 days, like
Hmm.
80 whatever the fuck hour, however many hours that is, right? Like you can look at past behavior and you can tell, like,
And that's when you pull all the way out. You're just like,
yep,
you've been wanting to do this for 10 years. I don't even think we can help you, man. Why?
yeah,
Why can't you help me? Like, blah, blah, blah. Dude, we need people who are going to come in and take over and, and actually push themselves to be better. And you've been at this for 10 years and nothing's worked. Why do you think this is going to work for you? And all
you
of a
gotta
sudden
get
they're
to the
like, well,
root.
it's going to work for me because I'm going to come in, I'm going to do this. You guys got this, you guys that. Oh, okay. Have you used any of those principles in the past? Like, just pull out. Let them disqualify or qualify themselves. Let them push themselves.
Or call them a bitch with your tone. It's a new super. This is a superpower I've been working on.
Oh,
Tone.
great.
So instead of like you've been working on it for 10 years, like you've been working on this for 10 years? Well, why haven't you gotten results? And then you'll see they're like, well, I've been busy. You can see their self-talk because
Yeah.
now like that's how they talk to themselves. Because they'll say that to themselves, like, fuck, I've been doing this for 10 years, I haven't gotten the result. I feel like a loser.
Yeah.
Like that, like that's their self-talk. So like,
Hmm.
no, dude, tonality is a superpower, bro. Like
Yeah.
just the
You're right.
skepticism
You're
or
right.
even just, like talking slow, like just in right, like it's just it actually does have an effect on people. So you could actually say like make them feel like a bitch, like because they're being one without saying it, right? Sales is a lot of like indirect communication,
Yeah.
even and I think even right when you really ramp up the fucking confidence, like that's just like direct communication. That's in still even though you're confident as shit, it's still indirect communication.
Hmm.
I'm calling you out. You're being a little bitch. Blah blah blah. I don't know you well enough to say that, but I can say it with my tonality.
Hmm.
You know, that's like I guess the cheat code of per se of like communication, right? Like a lot of higher level communicators, like that's because you can't really call someone a bitch when you're like a politician or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
somebody really famous. But
Yeah.
you can certainly say it. You can certainly say it with your tonality.
Yeah. And like you can cause a lot of things into question, like pull a lot of things into question.
Right.
And like, what's the goal of the call? The goal is to get them to think about all the things that they need and want and to realize that they can't achieve that without help and that you have the help that they need and they need to come in and actually put that together and put it to work.
Agreed. You gotta, yeah, man. I think the biggest thing is almost removing yourself from the equation. Just let them stir in their shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because um, I've lost like deals in the past a decent amount because like at some point the conversation became about me. you know, like it's really. I think you can use yourself as an example, but you want to be careful with that. It's so much more about them, and like it's so much more about them. You
Yeah.
know, because it has nothing to do with you. If they're saying bullshit, like yeah, like it really has nothing to do with you. Like they're just looking for you as like a reason to not take action. They're
Mm-hmm.
looking for anything they can possibly latch onto to
Yep.
not take action. They're just desperately flailing. So like don't let it like literally just let them stir in their shit, bro. Like that's been and if they try to latch onto you or anything else, just cut that shit on the spot.
Yeah.
That's where the challenging part comes in. Like, well, yeah, no, time, I just haven't had enough time. Really? You, you haven't had enough time? That's interesting. There's this guy, I don't know if you know him, Elon Musk. He's even better, Jeff Bezos, right? Yeah, I think he's worth about $200 billion, you know, trillion-dollar company, busy. And like, if he had an opportunity to make $20 billion over the course of a couple fucking hours a week, for maybe a month or two, like, do you think he'd find the time? Why is that? You
Mhm.
know, you're cutting out the bullshit.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. I'm just ranting on.
Yeah.
I've been taking so many calls lately, bro. I'm just fucking ranting.
I get it though, but it's like, at the end of the day though, we're talking about people who need to learn to help themselves first. So
100%.
our goal is to get them to make that first step in helping themselves on that call. And
100%.
if we can do that, if we can say, okay, this is what it looks like when you help yourself. You help yourself by working through your problems, working through your drama, and getting to where you can be successful. So if we can help you work through that and help you get to a point where, now the decision is made, like this is the first step I'm going to take to help myself, then we've achieved something. And that's better than a sale. That's making you make a decision. And like we're not forcing you to sell. And we're like, oh, people listening to this could be like, man, you guys are talking about your prospects like really harshly. But it's like, no, we're talking about their problems
We're
and
talking
their
about people in general, dude.
in
This shit's
general.
farther than sales. This is
Yeah.
people in general.
Yeah. And it's like, how much excuse are you going to, how many excuses are you going to let build up in front of you? You know, you've got to push through that wall of excuses in order to be successful. And that's with anything. Like if I'm going to lose 20 pounds, I need to stop making excuses for why I have 20 pounds on.
Dude, bro. This is at that event I was telling you about. One of the guys. So he's speaking to this dude who's like wants to start like a clinic, like a medical, like those little things where they put like a needle in your arm, you get the IV, whatever, start a clinic, bro. And the guy, like, dude, like, you're talking about excuses. The guy was like, hey, dude, I got like a felony coming up. I'm probably gonna be locked up for like 10, 15 years. Everything's against me. And he's like, yeah, it's gonna be tough. And so the sales guy was like, man, he just said some shit. I don't know, but he was like, what do you say? He was like, well, listen, man, you gonna do the time. If you gonna do the time, you gonna do the time. What you gonna do with the next 6 months, though? He paid in full, bro. He paid in full, like 28K, bro, on the spot. And on the enrollment channel, I saw a message this morning like, "Yo, unroll this guy immediately. He has 6 months to fucking." He's going. He's gonna get put away.
Wow.
But he fucking did it. He put the money in. I'm sure they're gonna have other people managing it as well. But like, what excuses do you have? Like you don't.
Absolutely none.
That shit was funny,
It's
bro.
like those same excuses that you have to keep you from starting are the ones that are keeping you stuck.
100%. 100%, bro. And it's like, it's not even just it's not even like a sales tactic, dude. Like if you read any biography of any like really successful like entrepreneur, or like if you take into context the goals that people are telling you and the way they're acting, it's very clear why they're not achieving it.
Yeah.
You know? And
Forget entrepreneur. If you read anyone who's even got a biography, like they had to push
true.
past their excuses to get to where they are. And it's like
So basically what you're saying is every objection ever is an excuse.
yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, facts. Like it is.
And
whether it's valid or not, it's still an excuse.
because who's the only one that's responsible for their shit? Hint, it's not your
It's
mom.
you. Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to, bro.
It's you.
Oh, that's
sure,
huge.
man. Love it. I love it.
You know what? I think this should be a nice short little snippet that you guys can watch 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
These are some bombs that we dropped. I need to let my brain recover for the night. We're gonna bring on some powerhouse guest next week. Potentially like high performance type content, fitness type content. I think that's important, especially for people like in sales. Me and Victor are doing our push-ups, doing our calisthenics, our compound movements. At least Victor is. I'm trying. But yeah, we got some guests coming up for you guys that I think you'll enjoy. Any last finishing thoughts or statements?
No, man, I think we hit a lot, and just really just you've got to push past excuses, period, and get through that drama in your own life in order to be successful in anything.
If you won't listen to you, why the fuck should I? That like,
Yeah.
but once you listen to yourself, like it's not that hard to like close a call.
Yeah.
It's important. So good having you guys jump on. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. If you're on Spotify, what do you do on Spotify? You like download that shit? Is that how it works? Is that how we monetize?
No, if you're on Spotify, rate us 5 stars on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. If you're on YouTube, hit that like, subscribe, and that notification bell so you don't miss any of the good stuff coming your way next time.
And are we on Apple Music?
Yes, we are on Apple as well.
And check us out on Apple. All right, guys. Thanks for jumping on. Have a good one.
See ya.
Peace.